And we are live. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to Real Talk with Dr. Lulu. Me llamo Doctora Lulu. I'm a pediatrician by training, a life coach, a mom of three. I like the description agitator because, well, I'm kind of sort of an agitator. I'm an advocate for the LGBT plus community, and I'm here today representing myself as a Black queer immigrant, mama beast, physician, and outspoken person. Whew, oh my God. So let's start with grounding, shall we? So we're going to start with a little bit of a grounding exercise. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. We're going to go all the way in for 4, hold for 2, and then all the way out for 6. Are y'all ready? Okay, let's go. So we're going to go all the way in. Hold for 2. And then all the way out. We're going to do another one. Go all the way in for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 2. And then all the way out for a count of 6. Okay, we're going to try that again. I want to make sure you can all hear me. Okay, ready? Let's take a deep breath all the way in. Hold for a count of 2. And then breathe all the way out for 6. Oh my God. I just love taking deep breaths because that is so cleansing. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Real Talk with Dr. Lulu. It's Wednesday afternoon, and y'all, let me tell you, I have to catch a flight at 3 o'clock. So let me connect my laptop. I'm going to catch a flight at 3 o'clock, but I'm here for you. I'm here with you. And I'm all about you for the next half hour. Okay. So we have to start with matters arising, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend as a mom of 3, 2 Black young men and 1 Black trans woman, that I'm not aware of what's happening in today's world. So I asked my ChatGPT today. I said, ChatGPT. Actually, I copied my friend Adana. I'm going to tell her this. Adana said she had asked ChatGPT that, knowing everything ChatGPT knows about her, what is one thing that ChatGPT believes that she doesn't know about herself? And I thought that was so interesting. And so ChatGPT told her a bunch of things. And then she asked us, what do we think? And ever in coach mode, I said, well, what do you think? Right? My job as a life coach is to empower people as much as possible. And it's so hard for people. It's been so hard for me to empower my own self. My youngest child, when he was growing up, he would always say, well, Mom, it doesn't matter if I like it. Do you like it? I don't know where that kid got that from. And I would push back. I would hate it when he pushed the question back at me. He would always say, well, Mom, do you like it? And I'd be like, I don't know. Do you? He would say, well, if you don't know if you like it, right? Fill in the blanks. And I always go, oh my God, this child, who's your mother? And so I'm a life coach. I help people move past their stuckness, no matter what it is you're stuck with or at. And this past week, I was watching a movie. The movie is called Limitless. It's about this young man who happens upon this drug, this clear round pill. And when he pops the pill, he can see everything. He gets clarity about everything. He remembers everything he's ever learned. He remembers everything. And so I asked myself, I said, how can I get that kind of limitless clarity without the pill? And a friend of mine actually suggested, he said, the fact that you ask yourself the question already leads you into the space of clarity. And I thought, okay, that's a good idea. But truly, how can you and I get clarity without the pill? And so today I want to talk about what just happened so I can get it out of the way. So yesterday, the news broke that at least one black man was hung, at least one. Hey, Ron's with Quilt. Hi, Melissa. Hello, darling. At least one black man we know for a fact was hung in Mississippi. So, trigger warning, because not everyone wants to hear that, and I get it. But as a mother of two black sons, not one, but two, and then one trans daughter, I think the mandate has been given to me to talk about some of the difficult things that people would rather not talk about. So I'm going to give it 1 minute and then we'll be going. But so yesterday, I was just as distraught as everyone else who has a conscience. And so what I did was, first of all, I called my kids. I really wanted to hear their voices. I wanted to know that they were okay. Everyone that I called was fine. My youngest was in a weird mood. He was generally he's upbeat. He's not like me. He's not as upbeat as me. I am the queen of upbeatness in my family, but in my own family. But he's normally more upbeat, but he was kind of subdued. And I didn't know why, but I also didn't want to dwell on that. I just wanted to know that he was okay. And then I said, okay, son, make sure you don't go anywhere by yourself. This thing happened in a campus, because he said he had heard about it. I said, it happened in a campus. He's at UT Austin, and he believes UT is everything. And I believe UT is everything too, but this is America with 3 Ks. So I said, just make sure you don't go anywhere by yourself anymore. He said, I said, son, please promise me that. He said, okay, I promise. And I got off the phone. And then I asked the middle child, I said, that one hadn't heard about it. And he said, okay, I'm going to do my research. I said, son, what are you doing research about? This kid is so funny. I said, what are you doing research about? Like that, to see whether it happened or what? He said, well, I just want to, okay, I'll look at the news. I'll look into it. I said, okay, whatever. Just promise me you're going to be careful and all that. And by doing that, I already felt better just hearing my kids. I said, y'all tell your elder sister that I'm thinking about her and she should reach out and let me know how she's doing, or just let me know how she's doing. Because if you don't know yet, my eldest and I were estranged at this time. So I said, just tell her that I'm thinking about her. And I would like to hear her voice. Otherwise, just let me know that she's okay. And they said, okay, I will. And so I went about my business. I decided I was going to do that, call my kids, and then go do a small reel on Instagram. And on that reel, I said to people, I said, I want you to feel your feeling. It's okay to feel any feelings that come. So feel the feelings or feel the feelings. Like just let them come, whether it's fear or anger or whatever you're feeling is valid. Let the feeling come in. Don't stifle it. Don't push it back. Let it come through. Do your best to process it. What I did was I journaled like crazy, and I put all my feelings in there, and then I was able to take the next step, which was to go find a place to stay, because I'm still looking for a place to stay. But I just wanted to offer that to anybody who's watching me as something you can do. You can always journal. Journaling is always available to you. This is my future book, by the way. It's not out yet, but you can always journal. This is actually a journal. It's an old journal. You can always journal your emotions. And if you don't know what to write, start with gratitude, of course, but also do what ChatGPT does. She just gives me a journaling prompt, and I just go with that, right? You can journal about 3 things that you did yesterday that made you happy or that made a difference in somebody's life. I mean, you could journal whatever you want to journal, but whenever you get to that tight spot, it's okay to journal. So I journaled, and then I felt better, and then I went about my business, and the rest is history. So I wanted to just offer y'all that before we move on. For me, honestly, talking helps me. talking through stuff helps me, because yesterday I got into a little bit of a stuckness. I found a place that I liked enough in the location that I want badly, but it has no closet. I was like, I need a closet. Like, there's no question about that. I need a closet. And so I journaled about that. And then I talked about it live. And then I came up with this idea that, wait, it's a 3-bedroom house. I might get one guest every 1 or 2 years, right? The guest room, for the most part, stays empty. So I can convert the guest room into a ginormous walk-in closet, right? And then that thought stopped bothering me. So talking it through or writing about it is an option. Please know that allowing your feelings to come in is never a sign of weakness. As a matter of fact, your feelings prepare you for action. As long as you don't dwell on, I think my thing is not allowing the feeling to come through. My thing is kind of remaining there and then spinning around. And so my name is Dr. Lulu, by the way, if you don't know this. I am a life coach. So one of the things I can do is help you talk through or journal through your feelings, help you get past your stuckness. A lot of times we can't see our blind spots. Sometimes it takes someone else to come and lovingly see your blind spots and then help you navigate that. Because we just can't. I have blind spots too. I had me a coach. I mean, I have a coach. I have multiple coaches, right? So sometimes you need someone to help you navigate that. Okay. So feelings are not weaknesses, please. Allowing your feelings to come through is not a sign of weakness. I went to an engagement party over the weekend for 2 gay friends of mine, two men, and one of the husbands was talking about the experience with his husband, and he started crying. And then somebody was like, "Put on your big boy shorts and shut that down, and stop crying." I was like, no, let him feel his feelings. This is what's wrong with Black men in America, being stifled and told not to feel their feelings and told not to express their emotions. No, express your emotions. As a matter of fact, last evening, just randomly, I got a text from my baby. He said, thank you for the phone call. I really appreciate it. So I knew right away that he probably just, normally he would call me. So I was thinking that he probably just needed to just tell me that and just leave it as it is. And when you're raising adult kids, you have to also remember that, well, adults. So when you're raising adults, remember to just know your limit. Like, ask, do you need a phone call? Do you want me to call? Do you want me to talk? Do you want to talk about it or whatever? I didn't do that yesterday because that text message closed the loop for me and I was fine. But you can also do that. The main thing is when it's an adult that you're talking to or an adult child that you're talking to ask them, do you just want me to listen? Do you want my opinion? Do you want, how would you like me to engage in this conversation? Again, empowering them, recognizing their autonomy, right? Acknowledging that they have their own brains. That's what I do with my clients. Sometimes I have a client that's really all the way over there, and then I have to like reel them in because I just see them spinning. Sometimes you just ask a question that'll break that. So that's kind of what I do. And so we're talking about that because there's been so much violence in America in the last several years. It's really bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. And for those of us who have chronic illness, like invisible pain, like I have fibromyalgia, so I do my neck like this, a lot of times it's because my neck is hurting, right? I'll just figure out a way of, just doing that. So I don't have to put my hand on it. For those of us who have chronic pain, this is all microaggression. This is all stress coming at us from every corner. We have to find ways to let go of the stress and not let it, keep us in a place that we don't need to be. So I invite you to journal. I invite you to call me if you'd like to have a conversation. As a matter of fact, I have a brand new offer where I'm doing a one session for 90 minutes, just a one time only. If you'd like a hot seat coaching, just about one thing right now, I'm happy to do that for you. I have an intro coaching which is 30 minutes if that's easier for you financially. But what I'm doing is I recognize that people need to talk about what's going on. Sometimes they don't even know that they needed that, and they were like, oh my God, I needed that, right? Sometimes we don't know what we needed. So I'm also available to help you work through that. But all this talk about violence reminds me of the work that I do with the LGBT plus community. The fact that this violence is not only on the streets, unfortunately. The violence is also at home. The violence is also at church. The violence is also at work. And might I even add that the violence is also at your doctor's office. So, what I do is help physicians create safe, affirming practices for their LGBT plus patients. And so, a lot of doctors have told me, you know, I don't think I need that because I'm not biased. Well, first of all, that's a lie. We're all biased. And then some tell me, one person told me, well, I'm a hospitalist and I'm in the critical care unit and my patients are too sick. So I said, so if your patient is sick, they don't need to be called by the name, their chosen name, or they don't need their proper pronouns, or their family of choice at the bedside. Because you and I know in America, there's some places where if you're not the husband or the wife or the immediate family member, you can't come. If I have a family of choice, part of affirming care is allowing me to have the person that I want to at my bedside, right? Part of affirming care is allowing people to have the visitors that they want. That's also part of affirming care. Again, I must say, affirming care is not hormones and surgery. Affirming care is whole person care. Affirming care is trauma informed care. Affirming care is patient led or patient centered care. Oh my God, I can't see. I guess my t shirt is not as clean as I thought it was. Affirming care is patient-centered care. Oh God, it's worse. Affirming care is patient-centered care. It's patient-led care. It's whole person care, holistic care, if you want to put it that way. The point is, affirming care is saying to the person in front of you, I hear you, I believe you, and most importantly, how can I make you feel safe today? So that brings me to the other reason why I want to have this talk, and that is this workshop that I have coming up on the 23rd of September. So it's titled How to Affirm Your LGBT plus Patient in 3 Easy Steps. I'm very proud of that workshop because, for instance, yesterday I said, I asked the doctors in a Facebook group, I said, what do you struggle the most with when it comes to affirming your LGBT plus patients? And the first person said, the terminologies. And that's a true example of crowdsourcing because I had not even included a slide about terminologies in my doggone fancy workshop. And I realized that sometimes when we've gotten past the problem, we don't always remember the original problem, like how it was, As coaches, one of the things that they tell us to do is to coach the person we used to be. And there was a time that I didn't know as many terminologies as I do now. So that doctor really reminded me that, wait, I need to put a slide about terminologies. Now, sometimes when I go into spaces and ask them what, the alphabets like LGBT, most people know LGBT. Some people know the first Q, but after that, most people they're lost. So there's another Q for those who do not know. There is I for those who do not know. So the first Q is queer, the second Q is questioning. The I is intersex, or disorders of sexual maturation, which is a new term, I think, sexual differentiation, excuse me, whereby somebody is born with external gonads or internal gonads that are not quite male or female. Then there's an O somewhere there for omnisexual, which is people who are attracted to everyone, but they are very particular about the gender that they are with at any particular point in time. And there's pansexual, which is people like me who are attracted again to everyone, all genders, which is non-binary people, trans people, cisgender people, don't matter, right? And I don't care the gender of the person that I'm with at that moment. That's pansexual. Then there's polyamory, which some people say that that's not a. I think people who are slightly homophobic say polyamory is not a thing in the queer community. I mean, I don't know. I don't. I'm just there's a second P there, and that's polyamory. Polyamory is adult, consensual, non-monogamy, which means all of us agree. We're all adults and we say we do not want to be monogamous, which means I'm happy to date John, Tim, and Susan. Right? Then there's 2S, which is two spirit, which is more indigenous belief that one person can have both male and female spirits or gender identity. I'm not two spirits, so I don't know the full explanation. Anyway, and so on and so on. There's non-binary, other things like that, which is slightly similar to two spirit because that person just does not subscribe to either male or female, or might subscribe to both or something, or a little bit of both. Every letter that I mentioned means something different to different people who are living or who identify with that letter. So the best thing is ask the person. Everybody knows how they identify on their own. Okay? So things like that. You see what I just did? I just kind of went through the letters. Things like that. Things like that are what we're going to be discussing at the workshop. Okay? I'm very proud to say that we're going to be talking about racism, of course. We're going to be talking about transphobia, of course. We're going to be talking about multiple marginalization or the global majority, which is what they are now. We're going to be talking about my phase one is about awareness because I just believe I love the word awareness so much because awareness for me means that now I know. But awareness alone is not enough. We're going to talk about that. Awareness plus action is affirmation. How cool is that, right? Awareness plus action is community, right? Awareness plus action is connection, for instance, right? Awareness plus action is compassion, right? Awareness plus something completes the process. You can't just know about it and then do nothing. So we're going to talk about awareness plus, right? We're going to talk about blind spots again, bias as an unconscious lens that causes harm. Period. Hi, Rita. Bias is an unconscious lens. You don't know you're wearing it. You don't know, but you're wearing it, and then through that lens, you're causing harm or you're affecting care of your patient. You're not directly caring for your patients appropriately. So we're going to talk about all that. So if you're wondering, Rita just joined us on Instagram. So if you're wondering what we're talking about, Rita, we're talking about this event that I'm having on Tuesday next week. It's a workshop. It's called How to Affirm Your LGBT plus patient in 3 Easy Steps. And the 3 steps are what I've come up with, which I'm really proud of myself, and I'm not going to go too much detail anymore because you gotta get the ticket. The ticket is in my bio everywhere. But I'm going through this before the patient comes to see you, how to even begin to affirm the patient. I'm going to talk about during the visit, How can the patient feel safe? So the before is find me, that's what I'm calling it. How does the patient find you as a physician, as a healthcare provider? I'm a neuroqueer gender fluid writer. Ooh, yes. Okay, so Rita is coming through for us on Instagram. Rita is saying they are a neuroqueer. I love that. Rita, I wish you could tell us more about that. Gender fluid. We just talked about gender differences. We didn't talk about gender fluid, but like I said, it's a whole lot more. Ritash. Okay, not Rita. Okay, so it's Ritash. I don't want to say your last name, but thank you for the correction. And they are also a writer and a counselor in India. So I don't know if you know this or not, Ritash, but actually I have partnered with a group out of India, and I'm going to be coming to India in 2026 to do some educating. So hopefully I'll get to meet you. But thank you for joining. I'm talking about this thing that I'm going to be doing. So if you'd like to join us, let me know. The link is in my bio everywhere, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, I think. Yeah. And not on YouTube, but definitely on those areas, in those places. So just let me know. Can you join your live now? No, unfortunately, my live is not open for that because it's a new show that I'm doing and I'm just trying it out. If you'd like to join me in the future, absolutely send me a DM right now on Instagram and we'll talk about it because I would like to have guests. But this is only the third episode, so I'm not quite ready for guests yet. But yeah, I would love to have you, Ritash. So that said, as we close out, we're going to be talking about the gaps in medical training where the LGBT plus community is concerned. There are huge gaps because we're not taught about this in medical school. So I recognize that we're going to discuss that because as a result of not being taught in medical school, a lot of doctors have gaps. And when there are gaps in knowledge, there are gaps in care. And when there are gaps in care, there are health disparities. And when there are health disparities, the patients suffer. So yeah, Ritash, please let's talk. I would love to have you on the show in the future. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about on Tuesday. The event is called How to Affirm Your LGBT plus Patients with Confidence in 3 Easy Steps. The first step is before the patient finds you. The second step is while the patient is in the practice with you. And the third step is after the patient has left. So what are the things you're doing at each of those steps? Please join us. One of the things, for instance, is knowing the alphabets. Oh, your patient is going to think you're so cool, right? Let me see. So I host Insta Lives too. I would love to have you on. Oh my goodness. Okay, y'all, I just got invited to an Instagram Live by Ritash. Yes. So Ritash, please send me, actually, let me write your name down so I can find you when I'm done. But please send me Ritash Achata. Achanta. Okay, so Ritash, please let's connect. I would love to come on your live and you can come on my live and all that. So my lives, this Real Talk with Dr. Lulu is brand new. This is only episode 3 and it's only on Wednesdays at noon Eastern. So you can join me any Wednesday. Anyone who's watching, I'll DM you. Thank you. And yes, I plan on coming to India next year. I have partnered with a couple of Indians. One of them is actually a queer out gay prince. That's a whole other story. So yes, the last thing I wanted to talk about is the date. So the date is September 23rd. The time is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for those of you who do not know, you pronounce my name well. Thank you, Ritash Achanta. Well, I'm Nigerian and I speak multiple languages. So yeah, thank you so much. So one thing that I wanted to add is the early bird tickets are over. That was over on Friday at midnight. So if you'd like to join us and you'd like to get the 10% off that we're offering, just type the word affirm in the comments wherever you're watching me from, and I'll send you the link with the 10% off. But the last thing we're going to do before we leave, and even if you sign up and you can't make it, it'll be recorded, there'll be a replay so you can watch it later on. But please don't think that just because you're not going to be there or whatever, you can always sign up. It's going to be recorded. There'll be a replay and all that. Wow. Okay, Ritesh. Okay, I'm excited. Ritesh said that they also founded a pan-India intersectional grassroots queer collective. Lots of words, but I love that. We have so much to talk about. I'm already excited, Ritesh. This is so good. Please do me a favor, Ritesh, if you wouldn't mind, could you share this video maybe on your stream so people can know about me, and then we can get together and talk about this thing that we're going to do together. So the last thing I want to do is remember that awareness alone is not enough. It's always awareness plus something. In this case, awareness plus action equals protection. Awareness plus action equals compassion. Awareness plus action equals affirmation, right? So awareness, 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 awareness. But awareness is not alone. Just like the doctors I'm talking to right now, you knowing about my event is not alone. You coming to the event is also not alone. In fact, you affirming your patients is not enough because we have staff members who may also need to learn about what I do. So one of the things I do is I help doctors. Hi, Okwi. I help doctors. Oh, that's wonderful. I help doctors create safe spaces for their LGBT plus patients through my Affirm program. So the program is called Affirm. Affirm, the A is awareness, then foundation, then facilitation, then integration, real life patient conversations, and then mentorship or mastery. So I am so proud of my Affirm program. If you are an organization out there and you would like help with creating safe spaces, expounding your safe spaces exponentially, let me know. If you'd like to hire me to come do a talk, I'm happy to do that. If you would like a life coach, I'm happy to do that. So Ritash and I just met and we're best friends already. And Ritash, thank you so much for your kind words. We're going to connect, and maybe this is the beginning of something bigger. I don't know. Ritash, I'm going to wear my fancy glasses just for you today. Bam. So Ritash, this is for you. All right. So my name is Dr. Lulu. I am a pediatrician by training. I am a life coach. I help my clients become limitless. Literally, I'm the limitless coach. I help them become limitless in their thoughts, limitless in their actions, limitless in their words when it comes to affirmation. Wonderful vital work. I help doctors and researchers. Wonderful. Ritash, we really have a lot to talk about. I'm very happy to meet you. I'm very, very happy. So I'm going to go now so I can catch my flight. Before we leave, let's do one last breathing exercise before we leave. Please reach out to me, send me a DM if you'd like to join us for the workshop, if you'd like to hire me to come speak at your organization, if you'd like to hire me to come coach, or hire me to come create safe spaces for you at your organization. My name is Dr. Lulu, and I'll see you next Wednesday at 12 noon after we do our breathing. Okay? So find your ground, put your feet on the ground, plant your feet on the ground, and let's take a deep breath. And we're going to go all the way in for a count of 4. We're going to hold it for a count of 2. We're going to breathe all the way out for a count of 6. Okay, ready? Let's go. Okay. Let's go all the way in. Breathe all the way in. Hold it for a count of 2. And then breathe out for a count of 6. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. Me llamo Doctora Lulu. I look forward to seeing y'all next Wednesday. Ritash, if you're the one that's there, I love NN. Welcome. Opie, welcome. Please share this video on your page for me. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll see you all next week. Remember, if you would like to join us for the workshop, just let me know. I will send you the link and you can get 10% off. Thank you so much. All right, let's get these glasses on for Ritash because Ritash likes it. All right, Ritash, my darling. I'll see you next week. Bye.